Attention everybody, the views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Axe Ministry, Axe Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits.
Attention everybody, the views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Axe Ministry, Axe Media Group, and or its subordinate ministries and affiliates and or its non-profits.
Mind if we
All that other stuff. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Johnny Rooster. This is the Morning Mouth.
What did you
Johnny
do here?
Rooster, and I'm Pastor Matt. I'm under the mask. I'm on the mask.
You won't want to go to the bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm not. I'm the freedom junkie. And I'm the rule follower.
Oh my God.
And I'm the freedom junkie. And I'm the rule follower. And I'm the
Did you do this in
freedom
your car?
junkie. And I'm the rule follower.
How many times are you going to say
How
that?
many times you gonna say that? That's very boring. I'm not bored. I'm excited. How about you? I love Jesus. Yes, I do. I love Jesus. How about you? I don't know who's
You're getting
looking
closer.
into this thing, but I can see you.
Hi?
Yeah.
It's me on a regular day.
Look at me, Mom. But first, coffee. Hi, everybody. Check out my tats. I'm pretty cool. I don't have any tats.
That's
That's why I wear long sleeves to cover up my lack of tats.
my lack of.
Your lack of tats.
Can't show them.
Oh, yeah. It's a
Hello,
little shameless
everybody.
plug
This
there.
is the Morning Mouth. I'm your host, Johnny Rooster. And I'm Pastor Matt. And we are just tickled pink, thrilled, and excited to bring you an absolutely brand new show today. It's Friday! Yep. Today we were going to have a very special guest, my very own son, Mark, who is in the U.S. Navy, and of course my oldest son, Luke, who is not in the U.S. Navy. Navy blue? Old Navy? Anyway, he's not here, so we don't have him as a guest today. That's why he's not here. I mean, that's why he's not a guest today. Yeah.
If you care about their soul, that's what we all do stuff for. Do you care about your brother or your sister?
Yeah, amen. Yes.
Do you care about their soul just like you care about your soul? Yes. Hello there. Musician jumping, come on back. I'm really not even halfway done with this message. But I can't keep y'all here all night.
Attention everybody, the views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of true human beings or anyone else in their right mind. Man, I'm your host Johnny Rooster, and this is the Morning Mouth. Oh, the new cartoon adventure. That's really weird, man. I fell down on the job once, but this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? I don't fall down on the job. That's not my style. Yeah, whatever, man. I saw you fall. I saw you. I did not. How'd you get your mouth to move when you didn't move? That's cool. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't fall. You're leaning on me now.
Attention everybody, the views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Axe Ministry, Axe Media Group, and or its subordinate ministries and affiliates, and or its non-profits, and all that other stuff. Good morning, good morning everybody! I'm your host Johnny Rooster. This is the Morning Mouth with Johnny Rooster, and I'm Pastor Matt, and I'm under the mask. I'm on the mask ordinance. And I'm not. I'm the freedom junkie, and I'm the rule follower. And I'm the freedom junkie, and I'm the rule follower. And I'm the freedom junkie, and I'm the rule follower. How many times are you going to say that? That's very boring. I'm not bored. I'm excited. How about you? I love Jesus. Yes, I do. I love Jesus. How about you? I don't know who's looking into this thing, but I can see you. Yeah. Look at me, Mom. But first, coffee. Hi, everybody. Check out my tats. I'm pretty cool. I don't have any tats. That's why I wear long sleeves to cover up my lack of tats.
Are we on? Hello?
I was just in shock of that video.
That's crazy.
That so you did some of that from your.
Just hanging out in my car at different times when I'm waiting for something to happen and I need
Something to do?
A little downtime. Cutout figure of you, cutout figure of myself.
Which you redid.
I redid for a little more frantic, bulgy eyes. I wanted it to be, the cartoon idea is to push the urgency, and you're more of the steady, coffee guy. You're grounded with your coffee, but
Yeah.
you're crazy too.
Grounded.
Grounded coffee. We have to be aware that our personalities can develop through something like this.
It's our first
first
1 hour episode.
It's an effort to reach a new audience. Okay, an expanding audience.
Hi, Audrey Snyder.
Maybe even Audrey Snyder, but a different audience or an additional one. And so, Johnny Rooster, I'm your host,
Audrey
Johnny
Snyder.
Rooster. You're watching Morning Mouth, and this is a live recording here or a live experience here. But I want you to hear this. If you have a business, if you have a nonprofit organization, if you're open to sharing something that you started or an idea that you have, well, run it by me, and we could put that in a little cartoon clip. We could interview you on the program, or we could do something in advance, depending on what the item is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
That was just a little difference. Played slow speed, fast speed, regular speed.
just playing around with the different
give them
stuff.
an idea, get a little different feel, a little humor there, and yeah, there's clips from different things. I hadn't done anything with that, so I just messed around with it last night for the first time, and just getting ready for today.
You heard it here first, folks. Jay, did you watch that?
I did watch that.
Did that come across audio-wise okay? Because I was just doing it. No mics, nothing.
Got
so-
Jay in the background over here.
Okay, as long as I could, the audience could hear it from their device. That's what I wanted. Mission accomplished.
Yep, I heard it loud and clear.
Because the audio has to be there.
Yeah.
I'm interested in letting people that are business owners, entrepreneurs, tell about their story in a different way, or in a way that would be in a compelling way for the audience. It could be in their environment.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm opening up. I was at an event a couple nights ago, a networking event where people were a business mixer. Have you been to those?
No.
A business mixer is where business-minded people are interacting, sharing business cards. And ultimately, they want to find out about your information, your business, so that they can help you.
It's kind of like live LinkedIn or something.
With referrals, yes. So they want the goal is to get your business expanded to a new audience. And that's what we're doing here. So I would tell those folks, hey, you've got something to offer here. Let me talk about it on the Morning Mouth. And that's your opportunity. It's going to an hour format, and it gives you more time to share what's important to you as a business owner or as an entrepreneur, somebody that has an idea or an experience. Remember the other week that we talked to a lady who'd lost her husband. And that's a different, a life-changing experience could be another part of this. My son was going to be on here today. He is in the Navy. He lives in Italy. He's stationed there, but he was a surprise visit over the weekend, last weekend. It was great. My son from Colorado called and said, we're on our way. Well, who's we? Well, Mark. So Mark and Luke are together. That's my oldest two. And they were surprising us. They couldn't surprise me because the time. They showed up at 11:30 at night at my house, and we live in the woods, and it's not an easy thing to do to wake people up in the dark woods. We don't have a dog, so we can't be awakened. So that would be an awkward thing. So they were going to surprise his mom because she lives in a different town.
Yeah.
But they could just walk in and surprise her. They could do the same for other people, but they couldn't do that for me because the timing. So they just called and said, hey, Mark is here. He's in the country. We've been planning this for months. So it was fun because I didn't know it. And the two of them had collaborated on that, and they pulled it off brilliantly.
Now we spoke with Mark during the middle of the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes. From Naples, Italy.
Where, I mean, that's whenever everybody was still really, really freaking out about it.
Yes.
I mean, we should still be cautious about it, but I mean, I think the original fear of everything is kind of went by the wayside for the most part. But that's whenever, I mean, there was still, I mean, it was in the rapid rise of cases, and we still didn't know. We still really don't know anything about it. But we talked to him. We actually recorded video, or no, we did an audio call.
Yeah, at the time, Italy had been hit really hard.
So now there were, what other ones were really, really hard? Italy, don't they have the highest population of elderly people?
I'm not sure about that. But they definitely had a big hit there and a hard hit, and they were talking about that. So Mark wanted to share a little bit, but he couldn't. He can't say everything, obviously. But
now he's a chaplain's assistant.
He
right?
is. The country was orange. That's the color code they give for travel. It was red right after he left, which meant he couldn't leave the country. So as soon as he left Italy this time, he was, his approval was hanging by a thread just to get here.
Oh, so they have another influx of cases? Is that what that is?
Apparently, there's more concern now.
Ah. That's, all right, there we go. Sorry, I was just...
I'm just going to your watch party and seeing what you got for popcorn in this thing.
What do you mean, popcorn?
Well, it says popcorn on the watch party. They give you a little icon that says popcorn. It shows a popcorn container. I'm now at your watch party watching this.
Yeah.
I'm watching you and watching me and watching us.
Watching me.
Touching you. That was a very creepy lyric.
Yeah. Man, it's not as bad.
Sweet Caroline.
Who's that other guy? That one guy that came in second place on American Idol. What was his name? And he did that song, "What You Doing Tonight? I Wish I Could Be a Fly on Your Wall." It's a really, really creepy song.
Yeah.
Talking about invincible or whatever. If I was invisible, I'd just watch you in your room. It was like, okay, that's really, really creepy,
It's
dude.
very creepy.
And that was a huge hit. A huge hit, Johnny.
What do you think of these cartoon images up on the wall?
I think they're great.
It's got you on your side, me on mine.
Yeah, I've saved it as being up there as the new norm.
Yeah, the new norm. You know how face masking is the new norm?
Yeah.
This is the new norm.
Yeah, that was funny. Look at more
Arm-
face
And then you did it in hyper speed, too. You're like...
When we first came up here and set the studio up here, Jay had the board right beside him, right? And you can adjust the effects on there. Where what is that called? Pitch shift. And
Yes.
we would sit there for like 25 minutes just laughing and because I mean you could turn you way down and then turn you way up to where you sound like a chipmunk, and yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's great.
I guess you'd have to.
I mean, you have
there and see
to.
it.
But you have to experience things differently now. If you have everything the same value and everybody's receiving it, it just becomes noise. Advertising
Morning, Julie.
has cluttered up the airwaves. People talk all the time.
Yeah.
They show images all the time. If you're seeing the same thing, you get lulled and you just lose interest. Do you agree?
Yeah.
You got to have something different.
Yeah.
So I was talking to this networking group, and these are business owners, entrepreneurs, people that have their own business.
That's French for entre.
So they wanted to
Morning, Robbie
they
Wagner.
want to share their message, and this is how they can do it right here on this show
Welcome to
at
the
9
party.
a.m. to 10 a.m. on Fridays. If you have a message you want to get out there, let me know about it,
And we'll get it out there.
and we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. There's some really interesting groups, people, organizations, nonprofits already eager to share their message on this format. Pastor Matt,
Yeah.
did you know that?
No, I
So
didn't.
they're interested. Now they're going to take action. They could do this in a variety of ways. One way, you can just do it in your environment. We can come to you.
Right.
Another way, come on in here and we'll talk in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Some people love that.
You want to talk about your business? Come on up.
Most people that have a business are eager to talk about it and share that.
Yeah. As I was talking to the dentist yesterday, and I'm letting everybody know that he's open.
He's open because not everybody knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes people don't know who's open and what they're offering.
Dr. Ernest Curry. And
Dr.
Willard.
Ernest Curry.
Yep. And Willard.
Let him know. Let
Yeah.
the people know. He is
Yeah.
open for business.
Open for tooth hurty.
2:30.
Tooth hurty.
Tooth hurty.
Yes.
2:30.
Yeah, I got a lecture from him yesterday. You know, he's a dentist, so he enjoys it whenever people are on top of their plan.
Yes.
You know, they make a care plan for you. Like,
Oh.
okay, so this is what you need filled. We're going to start with this one, this one, this one, this one. You're going to get cleaning, da da
Yeah.
da da.
Yeah.
Well, I've only recently had enough of finances to be able to get some of the work done, like fillings and things like that. But
Right.
I've got a toothache.
Yes.
And the first thing he said to me was, I don't like treating toothaches.
Yeah.
I like fixing them so they're not going to ache.
Prevention.
And I was like, yeah, I think there's a cavity. He goes, oh, yeah, I know every one of your cavities.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them. We were supposed to fix them. And, I mean, I like, sorry. Then they started talking about, like, they have to open one up and report.
Ooh,
you ever-
report.
you ever heard that?
Cavities report?
Open and report where they clear all the, not corrosion, what do they call that? Where it like deteriorates the whatever.
The marrow?
No,
No, that's
basically,
wrong.
but what do they call that?
The
Jay?
inner tooth.
Where it deteriorates. What's that called? Your teeth.
Teeth decay.
Specifically. Yeah, decay.
Tooth decay.
They open the tooth up, they drill in, they clear all the tooth decay out, and they see if they can either fill it or if it's going to need a root canal and a crown. Okay, so I've had a root canal once, and it wasn't him who did it. And
It was not he who did this.
it was not he who did this. The dentist that did it actually broke the tip of one of the files off in the canal, and it was in a place where he can't get it. So there's still the tip of a file up in there.
Nice.
But I mean, it's a good thing that he ripped the nerves out with that file. I mean, that's what
Then
that
you can't feel a thing.
that's what
after
they're
the-
for. They basically clean out the root canal where the nerve is. They rip that nerve out. So
We're talking painful root canal.
oh man, I didn't know how painful a root canal was. I had always heard, but it sucks.
There's a lot of canals in
Jason
the world.
Irvin, welcome to the party.
Panama, root.
Angela Enziano, again, welcome. Good to see you.
So
Richard Elia.
yes, and if you are interested and you have a ministry, you have a mission, you have a purpose somewhere out there, you want the message, let's talk. We're going to find out more about that. I want to highlight entrepreneurs and young and startup businesses. I also want to highlight nonprofit organizations that give,
Yeah.
the givers.
And there's a purpose between being nonprofit. The reason why that most nonprofits are tax exempt is because instead of paying taxes, they're putting that money that back into the community anyways. That's the purpose
Yes.
of tax exempt status. And a lot of people think it's just so we save money. No, it's because we're spending money putting it back into the community
Yes, that's
where
right.
the taxes should go anyways.
There you go, right back into the economy.
So if a church organization or somebody is not putting back into the community, they shouldn't have tax exempt status.
That's true. The churches need to give back.
Absolutely.
Why would
So
they
if there's
take
no
and not
if
give?
you have a church that has no outreach programs whatsoever and doesn't do stuff for the community, because the purpose of the church is to lift up the community and to bring God to the lost.
They're not a social club where you just self-fund your self-interest.
Right.
Even a club, a civic club, a group, Kiwanis, whatever, they give back. They collect fees, but
Johnny
they give
Allen,
back.
Scott Holland, welcome.
If you belong to a social service club like Rotary and Kiwanis
Yeah.
and Lions, they give back to the community.
Yeah.
They collect the fees and give back.
Acts Ministry gives
Acts
back
Ministry
to the community.
gives back. And this is one other way we give back. We're letting people see the benefits of sharing their message
Yep.
on the broadcast.
Things like letting people know that places are open.
Yes, Dr.
That's-
Curry.
It's a
He's open.
It's a public service announcement, essentially.
I want to help people, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
I want. If my heart, my idea is to give people entertaining content, but help along the way. Don't
Right.
just show up and blab, but help them. If we're not
We're not
helping
allowed to
them,
blab.
we can blab and help at the same time. If you're not getting them
We'll
coffee,
call that blope.
if you're not giving them coffee or what they need, Jesus met people's basic needs. That's why
Yeah.
he fed the crowds. He didn't just preach to the crowds when they were hungry.
I bet that bread was really good.
I don't know. I didn't think about that, but I think that kid just brought bread and Jesus
bread.
multiplied.
Yeah, that's like the wine that
But
Jesus.
let's
made.
give.
Yeah.
Let's give to these people out here. We're ready to give to you. You have a business. You're wanting the message out there. Let's give.
Come on up here. Talk to us about it.
Somebody asked me yesterday, does it cost anything? The answer is, it only takes your time to tell the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I mean, if you want us to mention your business outside of that, there are
we can-
there
there's
are
other
programs
options.
available. But if you want to come on here, contribute to the content of our shows, we can do that. We can set it up. So.
It is a lot of fun. You're getting some feedback now.
Julie said, having dental surgery this month, redoing the root canal myself.
Oh, my goodness. You must be very skillful.
Oh, no,
Julie.
no. I think she's like saying, like
on your own.
meaning she's, no, I don't think she's going to do it on her.
Okay.
You know how difficult that would be?
That would be so hard to do your own root canal. You'd have a good mirror. That's the way you start. Really
Yeah.
good mirror.
Yeah. And
And a good light.
Yeah, that's like where, in my place, there's too many mirrors.
Having dental surgery this month, redoing root canal myself.
Meaning,
But-
hey, I'm getting my root canal done myself.
Yes, not literally.
I don't think she.
working.
Then she says, typos.
Julie, I don't think I did think for a moment you might have been a dental person, but now I realize you're not.
Julie, it's really good to see you on here. We haven't seen her on.
Can
in
we
a little while.
what does she do?
I don't know.
All right.
Oh
Julie,
well,
is she,
what is it that you do exactly?
If you have
Julie?
something you want to share, here you go. You got the floor. David Holland,
That's my brother, Scott.
good morning,
Call him
David.
Scott.
Scott, You go by David or Scott, but it's really Scott. You should change your name. Erase the David and put the Scott.
Well, I mean, his first name is David, and professionally, he goes by David, but I've always called him Scott. So,
Call me Scott. Sounds like David.
yeah.
My son, they're not watching. That's cool. They're driving. I
They
told
should
them
be listening.
they should be.
How dare
I
they?
mentioned it, but they're my kids. They're probably sleeping while you drive. Get your good nap while you're on the road.
Oh, yeah. Making me want to yawn
So-
just thinking about it.
There was an opening stretch here. We had about 7 minutes plus, and when we started this program, and you can go back and watch that. It's a review of these cartoon characters. The idea is to put myself and my co-host in a cartoon format and make them like a talking, like you see on the wall behind us. A little comedy.
Now, did you redo that one?
Yours?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
But first, coffee.
it's awesome. It's awesome.
You do wear that a lot. That little bandana thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's my mask. That's what I
your
wear.
thing.
That way I don't have to be like, oh, get all the way to the door, and you're like, oh,
So-
man, I forgot my mask.
So I was mentioning this to our guest last week. It was Joe Dawes. He is the director of the Breast Cancer Foundation of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
Which gives a great. This is perfect because October is Breast
Former
Cancer
news anchor.
Awareness. Yeah, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Tomorrow they're having Jeepin' for a Cure in Ozark. So they start in Ozark and they go all the way to Chadwick. They're going to drive the back hills. 200 plus Jeeps tomorrow, Saturday, October 10th.
I said you don't have to have a Jeep to
10-10-2020.
participate.
10-10-2020. That's tomorrow's date.
10-10-20-20.
1010
10-10-3-2-1.
20.
What's that? Remember whenever it used to cost a lot of money to call long distance?
It did. So
10-10-3-10-10-2-20. Who's
So
that
he's
guy?
10-10.
Do you know the Muffin Man? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that guy.
10-10-3-2-1.
Tomorrow is the Jeepin' for a Cure, and it's going to raise awareness for breast cancer. It's raising money, and why are we doing that? Again, to give back. They're giving back. They have already designated the money they raise right back into the community to help breast cancer survivors and people going through breast cancer right now in our community, in the Ozarks,
Yeah.
from here to Joplin.
Yep.
It's wonderful. But 1 in 8 women is diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime.
That's crazy.
It's startling.
That is. That's
So,
insane.
Because of the COVID, women were not going in for screening, and the cancer could advance when you're not going in for a checkup.
So that means 1,000 of every 8,000 women are diagnosed.
It's terrifying,
That's really, really high.
and it is life-threatening.
And that's really, really high.
I have some friends that have stories about that. So it's just not. It's not a good thing. But we have programs like the Breast
What
Cancer
do they call that
Foundation.
whenever a woman has to have
Mammogram,
have her breasts removed because of it?
mastectomy.
Mastectomy.
So a very challenging situation. My friends have gone through this. Family members, everybody knows somebody that's faced this. But we want to help. So Jeepin' for a Cure tomorrow in Ozark. Bring your Jeep if you have one, because you can join up. Just get in there and get involved. It's
Sorry
a
about that.
lot of fun. So if you're a Jeep person, you would contact Joe Dawes at the Breast Cancer Foundation of the Ozarks. That is bcfo.org. Breast Cancer Foundation Ozarks.org. bcfo.org. .bz.
We don't do the .bz anymore.
No, we don't, but we do .org.
Although that is still available, you can go on
Well, it
there.
just sounds
still.
cool to say, but it doesn't mean anything.
.bz.
.org.
Yeah, that's out of Belize.
BC.
That's why it's .bz.
BZ. I know, and you better believe it.
Ah,
But we got something closer to home. I want to help you. Johnny Rooster's my name. Axe Media Group is this group, and we help people.
I
get
thought
the
you were going to say
message
Axe
out.
Media Group is the game.
Is the game. And this is Pastor Matt.
Yep.
Matt Pearson
Is
is
that who I
our director. Sometimes he's an engineer.
Johnny Allen,
sometimes.
welcome to the party.
We have people
Shauna
joining
McQuinn.
the party.
That's awesome. Welcome to the party.
Mainly, if we're talking to people, if we want to get their message out and they're interested, they can get a cartoon. They can get their own likeness. It doesn't have to be limited to me and you. They can have, like, for example, last week We had Joe Dawes. He was a Color 10 news anchor.
You gave
He's
him one.
Breast cancer awareness. It was his birthday last week. I didn't even know it.
And you're like, happy
And I'm
birthday.
like, here you go. You got yourself a birthday card.
Here's a caricature
This
cutout.
is you. He was thrilled. I got a selfie with him and the character. Everybody in a good spirit. He said, why don't you take all these guests that you've had, get a picture of them, cartoonize them, and decorate your walls. People walking into your office, into this area, are going to know who
Who's
you've
the-
helped,
yeah.
who you've highlighted. We want to be on the team. Everybody wants their picture cartoonized. Then all of a sudden the excitement is there. Jay Cobb.
used to-
Remember Jason Cobb?
Yeah,
He sits here at 8 o'clock.
yeah.
He got one. He said, that looks perfect. Even the wrinkles. He was complaining about too much
Much white on the-
white in the beard.
But it's actually it's
He actually does look better.
pictorially accurate.
He's not as white as I am, but he's not as old as I am.
I don't know.
Every year,
How old are you, Johnny?
I'm older than Jay.
How old?
If you turn my age backwards, it's the same.
55.
I can't drive 55.
Oh, so you're not much older.
I am
than him.
55. No, I'm not like 70. I'm not ready for
What are you?
Medicare.
52, 51?
51.
51.
4
51.
years. So
He tries to sneak by with his
You're-
birthday unnoticed.
you're 40,
Yeah, I just turned 40 in July.
and you're not
July.
as. You were bigger
Yes, I was bigger
in
then.
July.
Yeah, I was probably about 40, 50 pounds heavier than I am.
Is there a way to positively promote the organization that
No.
helped you? No,
Nope, and they don't want me to.
they don't want that.
Nope.
But see, that's what we're pointing
Everything-
out. Not
everything-
everybody wants every.
Yeah, I
type
mean,
of-
part of the program that we're on is all about word of mouth and
That word of
personal interaction with our clients and our
So, what are some other ways that people want some promotion? What are some ways that they like? You might have heard different.
high
people.
fives are always good.
Tell me more.
Oh wait, that's not a promotion. That's
No.
just a high five.
What do people like if they've got a business, they've got an idea, they have a service or a product?
What do you mean, like?
How do they like to be talked about? Let's find ways to make.
Well,
that-
everybody wants to be
because-
like
or
word
in
of
a
mouth
spot-
is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, but you got this spot on the TV and they just tune it out. They put it on mute and they go
Right.
get coffee. What do they really want to do? What do they want to say?
Well, I mean, I know Dad had a shop for 30 years and never ran a commercial,
Yeah, because
and he was full up all the time.
and tell me
Good service.
Yes.
And that was actually more a ministry to him than it was a business. They did make money, but they also gave a lot.
Well, most people that are givers are successful.
Yeah, yeah. And, of course, you have your few bad customers that you just can't make
High maintenance.
happy. Well, and we need to get Dad on here to tell the story about the guy who he plugged the guy's tire. The guy came in, tire was running out of air. Dad plugged it. I don't even think he charged him. Well, like the next week he came in with something electrical or something bad going wrong with the car.
So he had a automotive repair service.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Go ahead.
And he was trying to get Dad to pay to fix it because it never did that till you plugged my tire. So to hear Dad talk about it now out of nowhere, we just say goofy stuff like "never did it till you plugged my tire."
That's right. But the word of mouth is what he had, and word of mouth is
Yeah.
all you ever have. If you had $1 million campaign with advertising for a new movie, for example, and nobody liked the movie, they just said, "I don't like that movie." That's all that matters.
Right.
Doesn't matter how much
You're
you
more
got.
than likely going to tell somebody about a bad experience
Yeah.
than you are a good experience.
And if you have a good experience, you're still going to get good word of mouth,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's going to pay off. Bigly, as the president would say, bigly.
Bigly.
Pay off bigly. Huge. It's bigly.
Huge.
It's going to pay off bigly.
Huge.
Squinty eyes, orange hair. That's me.
Well, no, his hair is
It's
blonde.
really not that orange.
His face is
His
orange.
face is orange. He is very orangutangle.
Yeah.
I think the word orangutangle would apply.
Yeah, orangutan. I think that should be a
I'm
new
going
word
ape
in-
over Trump.
Are you? Yeah, are you going to ape over Trump?
I'm just going bananas.
Ah!
No, it's funny how people's messages.
Josh Flores, welcome to the show.
Welcome, Josh. Have a seat.
Always good to
pull
have
up
a seat.
pull up a coffee.
Pull up a coffee.
Sit on a chair. I brought you some coffee this morning from
Yeah.
Dancing Mule.
Dancing Mule was really good coffee.
I like
it was
Dancing
strong,
Mule. They're
stronger
good.
than I anticipated.
Bold. Ryan is the owner. He is a good man.
Oh, we need to
He's
get him on here to
there.
talk about
He's at the counter. He works, so he can't get away.
it. Well, he needs to
But
find somebody
we can
take his spot.
We want to talk to Ryan.
Yeah.
He's
There's a good there's a good office space downstairs that would be good for a little coffee shop. That
Yes.
little bitty that one half
There's
office or whatever.
space for rent.
Yeah.
Space for lease.
Is it lease or rent?
My name is Lease. For lease.
For lease?
I like the idea of giving people what they want. I like
Well,
the
of
idea
course.
of letting the people that already provide a service give.
Be sure and share these videos.
Share, share, share.
If you want to help us, share these videos. Share
It-
them on your timeline and on your news feed.
It gives my heart joy. But
Or your story.
we have talked about what do people want to do? What do they want to do when they're giving? When they're providing a service, they want the word of mouth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes their situation is they don't know. Somebody doesn't know they exist. I didn't know you did that. I didn't know that was available. Like Twitch. We talked about Twitch.
Yeah.
Jay didn't know. I didn't know till a week ago when my son told me.
Yeah.
Well, there's different things available. Twitch is a format for people to interact through a game, but they interact in real time. And
Right.
it's more than the game. They're watching somebody play a video game, but that's not the hook. The hook is the live experience of talking to the person that's in the content
Right, right.
that creates the program. So if we create a program where people are interacting with us and we respond to them like we do, we say hello, but it's more than that. We could answer questions. They don't have to be right here, but they feel like they're part of it because their questions are heard. If you write a question right now, just go ahead or say a comment. It might feel a little awkward, but being able to talk through this format gives a sense
Throws
of community.
people off, like especially if they're up here, they start watching the show, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, Josh Flores," or "Hey,
Right.
Melinda Pearson," whatever. They're like, "Wait, what?"
It's not a
mention
podcast.
that?
It's not
No.
a pre-recorded, polished thing. This is a live experience. This is something different.
Yeah.
People are used to watching something that's pre-produced. I did a little bit of this at the beginning with an intro video, but it's really a live experience.
Yeah, it is.
That's what we want it to be.
So
Talk to the puppet.
talk to the puppet. Yeah, and if you want to be on the show, you'll get a puppet of your own.
That's right. You can get your own creation, and that doesn't happen anywhere else. We want people on
Caricature.
the program, the show, Morning Mouth, get an experience you don't have anywhere else.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Provide a service that they don't get anywhere else. And that would be your cartoon, your message. You might have another idea. Maybe it's in your environment. We'll go to you and talk to you and show what you do. And I like that. So I like giving. People like to give. People like to understand what it means to. For example, yesterday I was I got up early, waited in line for an hour, and that's usually in a very irritating situation for the DMV to open. So
Right.
we want to be first because if we're not there, we wait another hour for an unknown amount of time
Right.
in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So we know that we're first at 8:30 when it opens, but we have to get there at 7:30. Our take is we got to wait anyway. Let's do it at the beginning.
Yep.
So the first in line was there before me, but she stayed in her car comfortably. I got out of my car and sat on the bench outside the door, which I was in position. Like if you're at a concert, you're ready to be first in line.
Right.
Well, she showed up, and I invited her to sit because socially people need an invitation. They can't just show up and be in your space. All of a sudden, the rules of society say, I'm going to sit here.
Right.
But now that I'm here, you're not allowed to sit next to me because I don't know you. That's the
Right.
rules. That's so weird to me because it's like saving a seat. Remember when you'd go to church and there was an event like a comedy or a music act and people would run and throw their coats on all the seats to
Yeah.
save the seats for
Yeah.
their party, and their party didn't show up until late and everybody's giving them the eye because they've saved all these nice seats and everybody's got to fill in around them and you're just kind of avoiding them like, I don't see you because I got the seats. You know, I've got these seats saved. Well, in society, if you don't know somebody, you're not supposed to sit by them. Can you imagine if you're in a theater seating and somebody you never knew and it's empty and they sat right next to you and all the other seats were empty? That would be so awkward. So they just don't do it.
I personally think that would be awesome.
It would be hilarious. We should do that.
I love sitting next to people.
If a man sat next to a man in an empty theater, that would be so awkward. It would be almost sweating about how ridiculously awkward that would feel.
I was reading this story about this husband and wife that were in line at a coffee shop. Sorry, I've got something going on with my necklace here. It's driving me nuts. Anyways, and a guy came up and held a woman's hand, thinking that it was his wife.
Ooh.
And it wasn't. His wife was behind him,
reaching out for her hand,
and he tried to get the lady to buy him a coffee.
Oh.
And he took advantage and said, he made it funny. He said, well, I was just kind of hoping she would buy me coffee.
There you go. What are you going to do?
She said, well, I'm not buying you coffee. So he went back, held his wife's hand. She goes, well, I'm not buying you coffee either. And the guy in the front of the line turns around and said, I'll buy you a coffee, and went up and they held hands until they got up and bought the guy a coffee. And he bought him a coffee. So that right there that sounds like something that would be really hilarious to do.
Go up and sit by a stranger.
That's like my friend
bus stop.
James. My friend James and I, when we were younger, we would hold hands and skip through the mall just to watch people. Here we are, 17, 18-year-old kids skipping through the mall holding hands. And just imagine,
I have a mall story as well.
Do you have a mall story?
When I was 21-ish, I bought a wig, shoulder-length wig, and my friend did the same. So we would walk around the mall with shoulder-length wigs that looked to some people like they might be our real hair. To most, they didn't, but some people, this was back in the day when rockers were rockers.
Yeah, hair bands.
The hair bands. So they're like, wow. It was pretty funny. But
that was like, 30 years ago?
That's been 30. That was back 35? In the hairband days. Yes.
Yeah, see, I was born in 1980.
Yes.
So I was alive for that decade.
Yes.
And so I remember
kid walking. You could have been a little kid walking by and seeing us. Rockers.
That's possible. I remember the hair bands.
I saw Johnny Rooster in 1985.
Yeah, right.
Before, when he had hair.
Before pre-Rooster.
One girl's like, yeah, you don't. We were cruising on Friday nights and Saturday nights. We'd get in a car, and we'd go bumper to bumper around the square. This was called cruising.
Right.
Well, it was a thing to be seen. It was, before the internet, we wanted to be seen. I don't know why we hide now, but it was cool. And all these girls were looking at us with our wigs. And one girl's like, yeah, man, if anybody tells you that's not cool, you tell them, get lost. She said an expletive, because that is awesome. And we're laughing, and we laughed about that. And like, oh, can you imagine? She thought that was our real hair. That was so funny.
Yeah,
it's like some high school girls telling us this, and we're like in our 20s, and we're like, that is so weird. Yeah. She thinks it's so cool that we have long hair. we think it's so stupid that we're wearing these wigs.
Should have worn in man buns.
That was pre-man bun generation. That was really let your hair down.
Well, I mean, nobody really takes man buns seriously.
Can you imagine
anyways.
Man bunning a wig and just doing it, just rocking a wig man bun?
I have a hard time accepting regular man buns.
Regular man bun
I've got what you would call a reverse man bun, Oh, yeah. Cool, Mike.
I've seen the ponytails and the hats where you buy a hat.
And it's got a ponytail. Or the visors with the spiked blonde, spiky stuff on it.
The golf hats with the spiky hair. That's cool. The visor, yeah. But I've got this idea that if we are talking to people in the public, they're not allowed to do this. They're not allowed to sit next to us. They can't talk to us. The rules are play on your device and don't make eye contact with strangers. That's the social norm. We need to bust through that if we're Christians.
You know what I think is funny? That look you always make with somebody, like when you're waiting on the elevator.
Give them the look.
Where you raise the eyebrows.
Mm-hmm. Do one of those. Yeah, that's how you greet. Today on the elevator, I go up to the second floor here. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a long ride. From the first floor to the second, a gal gets on, and the sign says limit 2. Right. So I left somebody out. I was ready to get up here, and I had to get up here because I was bringing you coffee, and I had coffee and I had cartoons. And most men don't carry 2 cartoons and 2 coffees at the same time.
It looks like
In
Panera
fact,
Bread stickers.
They are. I was there yesterday.
Gotcha.
But most people don't carry cartoons when they're carrying coffee, and I was starting to spill, and I was wanting to say bad words because I'm spilling on the way to doing my Christian thing. So I'm thinking bad words.
Morning, Eric Jackson.
And I'm in here going, oh, no, I'm a Christian. I'm trying to adjust my coffee and my cartoons, and I got my coffee and cartoons, and I got on the elevator, and she had to push the buttons because I'm all used up here, and she says, what number? And I go, just 2. Just like it was nothing. Like, if you're going up to 10, that's something.
Just 2.
But I'm like, just 2. Like, I'm a wimp. Like, I've got to take this elevator to 2. I wish I could have taken it to 10 like a real man.
Sometimes I'll go up to 10 just to look out the windows. It's beautiful up there.
But it's just so embarrassing. It's like, just 2. I only needed 2.
Morning, Dr. Paul.
Good morning. Because socially, we don't have a way to get out of something. So she's like, oh, she was happy. And then she was on a phone call. She was doing a phone call, and the phone died. The call went dead because it's on the elevator. I go, elevators. You know how that is. We just had this moment when she was laughing, and she said, have a good day. What brightened her day was the fact that her phone died on the elevator. Hello, hello. And I needed just 2. I just needed the button pushed. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
We got to get out of our bubble, out of our afraid comfort
Hi, Becky
zone.
Green.
And hi, Becky. It's good to have people get out of their comfort zone, be not afraid, and go into that unknown territory of the social, not the social distance we talk about with the COVID, but the socially distant people that are out there. They're not willing to break into our bubble. We've got to be approached first.
Yep.
Let's do that on this show, too.
Well, it's about time for us to get out of here, too.
Give you a way to approach first your public and say hello. Get out of your comfort zone.
So that means it's time.
Does it? Well, that was a really significant way to end it. So get out of your comfort zone. Get out there and reach your world. Go past your barrier and make your bubble bigger.
Make your bubble bigger. Bye, everybody.
Johnny Rooster,
Pastor Matt.
Morning Mouth.
See you next time.